أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم العاملون بإرادته. The next line is again a continuation of the shahadat and the bearing of witness. Here we are saying, I bear witness that you are the Imams who act according to his will. Al-amiluna bi-iradatihi. Amilun is plural of amil, one who acts or does something. Amal is an act which happens with an intention as opposed to fi'l. What is the difference between amal and fi'l? Fi'l which can happen without any intelligent intention or reason. For example, when animals do something or inanimate objects, that we would call fi'l, we would not call that amal. And regarding intention, an intention is what? An intention is a determination to do something. An intention forms when a person weighs up the pros and cons of a matter and then makes an intention to perform an action. This is how usually we understand intention. The type of word it is called ism fa'il. Amil, amilun is ism fa'il, which gives the meaning of something that happens past, present, and future. It was, it is, and it will be that the Imams act according to the will of Allah. It is comprehensive. Bi-iradatihi. Irada is from rawada, which means to seek something with choice. Now, as we said before, the will of Allah can be divided into two. He has a tashri'i will and a takwini will. A tashri'i will we will call legislative or to do with religious matters and religious injunctions. Takween is to do with the natural world or the way the universe is created. One is to do with religious orders, which can be obeyed or disobeyed. The other is to do with the natural world, which can never be disobeyed. When he wills, it will happen. إِنَّمَا أَمْرُهُ إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا أَنْ يَقُولَ لَهُ كُنْ فَيَكُونُ. This can never be disobeyed. So in this regard, sometimes he uses the word amr. Sometimes he uses the word qawl. For example, in 1640, he uses the word qawl. These words and terms represent his will. The term kun fayakun is really just to communicate to us that his will becomes a reality. Otherwise, there is no actual word used by Allah. He doesn't speak a word. He doesn't utter a word. There are no words used. It's just to make us understand that he says be and it is. Now, when it comes to the Imams, what do we mean in this sentence regarding the Imams? Well, what we mean is the Imams are utterly submissive to the will of Allah. They do not have any question, issue, or hesitation on this. And this emphasizes what we said previously, that Imams actually do not have any of their own self-will left. Their will is actually the will of Allah. So this sentence is emphasizing that same idea but in different words. There previously, Imam Ali al-Naqi alayhi salam, who's the author of this Ziyarat, used Amr. Here we are using Irada. Al-Qawwamuna bi-Amri, Al-Amiluna bi-Iradatihi. Therefore, they are always acting according to the orders and will of Allah. They are sinless and they are infallible because they are always acting according to the orders and will of God. Their lives, their words, their actions, and even their silences when something is happening in front of them become a role model for others, and we can use their lives as a proof in what will please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Finally, Agha makes an interesting point with regards to how people obey Allah. He says there are three groups. First group is that some people act according to the commands and prohibitions of Allah. They do what they are commanded. They stay away from what they are prohibited. But then what about mubah things, jaiz things, things which are neither wajib, mustahab or makruh, haram? Well, in that they see themselves as having their own will and they act in the mubah things as they wish. Number two, higher level than this, is that they obey all the wajibat and mustahabbat. They stay away from all makruhat and muharramat, all the haram and makruh things. But in the mubah things, they don't see themselves as having any free will. They turn all the mubah either into mustahab or wajib. And number three, even higher than this group They don't really need to be told. They don't really need to open the tawzi and look at what is halal and haram. They don't need to ask a marja a question as such. Whatever pleases Allah, and they have followed Islam, they're following the laws of Islam, they abide by the marja, they do taqlid, etc. But they don't need to be told every moment, do this, do that, do this, do that. They try to follow the will of Allah. They use all manner of ways to try and understand the will of Allah and act accordingly. For them, they are abiding by fiqh and laws of Islam, but much more than that, they even go by the spirit of the law, and they regard their whole lives as being even greater than just being told what to do. They have somehow really brilliantly got in touch with the will of Allah, and they are following the will of Allah, and this is the realm of A'imma alayhimus salam. They're completely in sync with the will and the irada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and hence they are al-amiluna bi iradatihi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.